B. Frank Network.
Can I intro the show?
Yeah, let's intro the show. That was such good content.
Welcome to another very special episode of Happy Never After. I got trapped on a plane and couldn't come back. I had to get dropped back off in Texas and couldn't make it. So I am on Zoom. The guys are in studio. Wilfred, what's up? Padua?
Huh? All right.
I said, what's up with you? How you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, that stupid M train. I don't know why I keep on going back to the M train. It's like, yeah, I think sometimes it's good to me. Sometimes it's just like an abusive boyfriend.
Yeah, no, the M train is mad inconsistent.
You still have your parents, and they're not nice to you.
I mean, I feel obligated to my parents. I don't know if that love is the word. But anyways, let's get Sergio in here.
Nah.
All right.
Sergio, Chico.
I might have said that I support the Taliban in a previous episode of the DBS podcast, and it's been lingering above my head for 3 days straight. And I was too lazy to have anyone edit it out. It's one of those things that you say, and then you wake up, and you're like, God damn, I should have edited that out.
Yeah, give them some context.
Yeah, so this is the context. I said, I fucks with the Taliban. And my guest was like, okay. I said, because they've been treated like inner city blacks and Puerto Ricans, for a long time. So warlord groups have formed. Yeah. And there's a lot of dudes in the inner city who behave that way because they've been mistreated. And I fucks with the Taliban. And I said, fucks, F-U-X.
Yeah. And I know that you understand that there's flaws to that argument because I don't know if a lot of blacks and Puerto Ricans that are like, circumcising women or whatever.
Right. That was, So as soon as I said that, throughout the day, the news has suggested how brutal and malicious the Taliban is to women specifically. And I was raised by women, specifically my mother and my sister, so I've been cringing at the very thought of what I said I supported for 5 days straight.
I know. I was like, rough.
Yeah.
I was like, can I speak here? Is this
No, you
okay?
can't.
I mean, even...
But yeah, Seth Simons, you know where to find them.
Dude, can we, so people actually feel sorry for you, can we talk about what happened at your show?
Oh my God. I definitely, so a couple of weeks ago, I was in Royersford, Pennsylvania, and at an outdoor show.
Okay.
And
you were Chris?
I was with Giannis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because Giannis has this very popular character, Marisa, which is not popular in Royersford, Pennsylvania. So he wants to do the character. I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. This is a transgender
Marisa
person.
Is Giannis?
Yes.
Sorry.
What?
No way. You didn't know?
No, I didn't put
like
that.
All those oblivious fans, like,
I've never seen Marisa live.
Oh my God, it's hilarious that you didn't know that.
And I just seen Marisa's Instagram, which is like popping separate from Giannis.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is just a like trans person from like the Lower East Side or whatever. And I was just like, this is the funniest trans person in the world. And
have you ever touched it to Mauricia?
Have I what?
Have you ever touched yourself to Mauricia?
No.
No.
I don't know if I'm that woke.
I definitely have come across some porn like deep in the rabbit hole, and someone was giving some mean head, and I was like, wow, that person is talented. And then I looked at the title, and the mother says she, he. And I was like, fuck it. He's doing a great job. They are doing a great job.
Yeah.
And I was definitely into it.
My dad hired a prostitute while he was in the military.
This is so funny that you know this information about your father.
And like you just like scratch your chin as you tell the story.
I know. The best part is that my mom opened up the story at Christmas dinner when we were like 12. And she was like, your dad hired a prostitute. And my dad goes, she had a dick. I was like,
whoa. And did he go all the way with her?
No. He stopped.
What a pussy your dad is.
What a fucking pussy.
That's what he says. He didn't go all the way.
Yeah.
He might be burned that in the back of his head.
Oh, absolutely. That was his opportunity to change the entire narrative. So he did.
I know. Either he was a really great liar or his delivery it was very believable that he didn't do it.
Yeah. So wait,
But-
you're in Royersford.
So I'm in Royersford, Pennsylvania.
Oh, sorry.
The producer tells me that there's someone in the audience who did mushrooms, so he's acting silly. And when I think of mushrooms, I think of someone who's acting, giddy and maybe hallucinating and stuff like that. Fast forward, I do my set. I'm featuring for Giannis. It's like 20, 25 minutes. I get off stage. Giannis decides not to do Marisa. Good move on his part because it's like a bunch of rural Pennsylvanians who don't know who Marisa is. There's like 4 Puerto Ricans from like a neighboring town, and they're like, "That Marisa, is she here?" And like he has his bag with the wig popping out, and we just put it back in the trunk. It's hilarious.
He's just stuffing a woman into his trunk.
Yeah, exactly.
The remnants of a woman.
Like he's like half dressed. He got one fucking glove sleeve on and one chocolate on, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do this shit." So. The show is fun. It's a lot. It's outdoors. It's under a dome. About 200 people. I'm at the side of the dome after my set, talking to the host, Canal, Casey Aurora, and we're talking about some healthy shit.
What a great dude.
Dope. He's dope, and we're talking about healthy shit. We're talking about stretching in the morning and running. Then he says to me, "Wow, do you see that guy behind you?" And he wasn't exactly under the dome viewing the show. He was just outside of it. He was sitting like on a lawn chair. And he said he looked like a cartoon. So I took a look behind me.
How far is he from you?
I would say 100 to 150 feet away.
Okay.
And his head was like have fallen to his shoulder. Like it was just leaned over to the side, but in a very awkward manner. Like I never seen anything quite like it. The guy, I guess his girlfriend was near him and she was crying. She was kind of going back and forth. This time when we finally like really took a look at him, because we saw him earlier, but now with his head to the side like that. She was crying when we really started to take a look. And we got closer to him. We walked, we were like, oh shit, let's check that out. He was yellow, like a Simpson. His eyes were slightly open. We checked his pulse. There was no pulse. His girlfriend runs. We lift him off the chair, perform CPR on him. We don't know what the hell we're doing. Like I know CPR, but I didn't grab the bull by the horns. I helped pick him up. Someone else performed CPR, a bigger guy. Because this guy was big. He was like 250 pounds. He's like a big boy.
Whoa.
So I was just like, I don't know if I can rejuvenate. I didn't feel confident. There was a guy who felt confident. So after I helped lift him up with 2 other guys, we got some more help.
Also, if you're going to do the chest compressions, you're kind of stuck there.
Yeah,
because you got to like
you can rotate.
You can rotate
after 30 repetitions.
Right.
Oh, really?
So someone was on standby. So as soon as we pick him up the chair, someone yells, "Oh my God, we need help!" Another person.
This is after the show.
This is during the show. Giannis is still on stage.
Giannis is on stage.
Yes. So then KC runs to the stage. So it's like me, the guy's girlfriend, and 2 people who just kind of this happens to be passing by.
Yeah.
And people in the actual show can see this guy because he's outside of it. And people are like, "Oh, what's going on here?" Like chitty-chatter. Oh, okay.
And Giannis is still doing jokes.
Yeah. And his last bit, right before Canal goes up, is, Royersford is a real piece of shit place. This is the type of place you go to have a heart attack and die. And Casey goes, "I'm sorry to interrupt the show. Is there any medical professionals here? We have an issue in the back, and we need help." And then 2 other people ran. Then we found a partition, So and then people are like, "Oh, what's going on?"
So Casey went up during Giannis' set.
Yeah, gets Giannis off, and then KC, fucking dirtbag, I love him to death. He's like, "Hey guys, so oh man, I'll tell you, Afghanistan wild, huh?"
Oh,
that's so funny.
Well, it wasn't exactly Afghanistan bits, but he's doing bits.
He's doing what?
Yeah, he's trying to sell his fucking comedy album. Hey, so I got my comedy album in the front. I don't have any physical copies left. Yesterday was a good day, but I can walk you through how to do the QR code scan.
Oh, that's so.
I may be joking about that. We need to add some light.
But
he does like 10 more minutes.
But that is necessary. He's doing that for Giannis
or for himself.
Well, I'm thinking he's doing it for Giannis because he just ruined the show.
Yeah.
And saying, so there's an emergency, we need a medical professional, and then everyone's like, what's going on? And then he's doing his best to turn it back to a comedy show.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't as awkward as I'm making it seem to be. It was just fucking. It was funny.
No, it's awkward and very funny.
Yeah. No, he wasn't trying to sell his album. That'd be hilarious.
That would
right?
be hilarious.
Whose set did he die in? Yours?
Yeah, it doesn't look like he made it. Unless a miracle
You
happened.
killed it.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis killed him softly. So it turns out the guy had a pre-existing condition with drugs, and it looks like that's probably
That was the guy on mushrooms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, air quotes. The guy on mushrooms, right? So his girlfriend had mentioned that he had a history, and it looks like that was it. And I was told when someone turns yellow, it's like liver failure. So it's unfortunate to see something like that. It was so final. It was jarring to see that.
Yeah.
And if you're out there and you're sick, make sure you take care of yourself, man, because it can happen from one day to the next. I'm sure that guy didn't think he was getting a check, and then you get checked.
I can't believe you. That's like so crazy that you just like hopped in like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was sitting on a chair. We're like, we need to get him off there. I picked him up. He's a big guy. And it was, he was 31 years old. He was a young guy. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, it was very, very, very sad. And, who knows? Maybe he went to the hospital and they brought him back to life. I don't think that's the case. I'm just being honest. But
There was no AED in the place?
I
Automatic external defibrillator?
believe there was.
What? Really?
I believe there was. Because they acted pretty quick.
You were confident in your EMT skills?
Yes, because as soon as I started, equipment came about shortly after.
Yeah.
So,
I saw this car run a red light. I knew it was going to happen too. And they got T-boned an off-duty cop.
Whoa.
Right? Yeah. Bad timing. So, and then it was in New York before I left, and I was sitting at the light going and watching everybody then just move around the cars, and no one stopped. And I was like, fuck, no one gives a fuck. And so I got up and I went to the police cars and I was like, can you hear me? Are you okay? Are you okay? Like it did the whole, like our training. You're supposed to go, are you okay? Are you okay? Someone call 911. That's what you're supposed to do from the video. And he was like, I'm not. And I was like, fuck, I needed you to answer that you were okay because I don't know what to do from here. Yeah. I breezed through that test. Okay. And then he was like, I had to call the police. He kept going unconscious. And then the girl that slammed into him comes over, and I hang up the phone. They were like, make sure he stays awake until the police get there. And I like made him open the window, shut the car, like do everything. And she comes over and she's like, do you know how long they're going to be? I was like, no, cunt, but go ahead and make sure that he stays alive. And she goes, are you going to be the witness? And I said, no, this is your opportunity to tell the truth. She like pulled away. And I was like, yeah, bitch, I'm watching you. Yeah. But I left because I was at that point, I was like, snitches get stitches. I'm out.
Yeah. You thought that she was gonna like send the mob after you or something?
Definitely not. It was 4 young your people students. So I definitely wasn't worried about.
She said your people?
I knew they had no mob connections, but
you never know that Asian mafia it can be dangerous.
Chinatown, I didn't realize all the little China mobs down there.
China mobs, yeah.
I did. There are. I'll share some.
The wildest shot I ever saw from a Chinese gang was back in the 90s. I was in high school, and there was beef between the Dominican gang and the Chinese gang. And let me tell you, they fought in the parking lot for a good 45 minutes to an hour. That's a long
fucking
time.
It's a long
for
fight.
There was no intervention.
How many people are we talking?
We're talking about 25, 30. Like the Dominicans were fighting a pocket of blacks, right? A pocket of black people. And then the Chinese came, and they were much smaller, but it was like something out of a fucking movie. So there was a lot of like, it was like a little mini race war going on in my fucking school. But it seemed like the blacks and Dominicans then joined together because it was like 4 and 8. And then mad Chinese kids came, and they had all sorts of fucking creative, like, tools for destruction. One had
Just like a salmon.
yeah. No, one had like
Just
a
hit him with a
samurai.
tuna. Oh,
Like
what?
wait, like a samurai.
Like a sword?
Yeah, is that what they call the ones with the two? It's like
Like
three.
three?
Yes,
Like katana.
katana. That's what. Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
what's a samurai? Right, yeah, he very much had like a ninja.
I think it's called a sai. Actually.
a sai. Well, one of them had a sai. One of them had a
You're
fucking.
talking about the one Raphael has.
Yes.
Yes.
It was something like that. Looked like
Are
that.
you talking about the Ninja Turtle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a
And let me tell you,
it's like
man.
a small pitchfork.
Yeah. And one of them had just a regular chain. Another one had a bat, and it was brutal, man, to see that shit. We're hitting each other a lot, and one person would get beat up, left on the ground. Then he would get up, and it was
See,
wild.
what's beautiful about that? Because usually,
And I was just looking at the fucking school window.
yeah, what's beautiful about that is usually Dominicans and blacks don't get along,
Well, that's what was.
and then Asians stopped racism
right.
by beating the shit out of them.
Yeah, no, the Asians were deep, man, and it looked like, if I remember correctly, the blacks and Dominicans joined, and it was like just a fucking rumble.
Man, 45 minutes.
Did you see the Stop Asian Hate parade or not parade protest parade?
Mhm.
No, I didn't see
Did
it.
you go to it?
No, I didn't.
Did you? I know, because it was on a Sunday morning, 9 a.m. It was for a half an hour down Broadway. And then as soon as it was all Asian people and a few others. And then
a few
as
do-gooding
soon as-
whites is what you're saying.
yeah.
Was someone
Yes.
assaulted at the parade?
No.
Oh, okay.
And what's
It
the
was
point
9
of this
a.m.
story?
It was 9 a.m. on a Sunday, and then they get to the park, and then they're like, okay, we did it, and everyone disbanded. Like, it was the funniest. I was like, oh.
How do you know so much
God.
about this parade?
Because I was
I was there.
watching
You
it
weren't
'cause I
there
was
because
very
you're in
clo-
Texas.
I was very close by. No, it was last
Oh,
month.
last weekend.
Yeah, it was last month.
Oh, okay.
Last month, that's like too late. They stopped
Was it-
beating up Asians in like May. And then now we're doing it?
It's true. Beating up Asians is out of style.
Yeah.
That-
We're back to black people.
Yeah, that's
We never left black people. That
No,
was
we
always
gave
the-
black people a month and a half so we can beat up Asians. and then they stopped, and then this parade happened way too late.
It did, and it was very quiet.
And here's how I know all this stuff, because my bookings were really good in May.
Were you getting a lot of love?
I was getting so much love in May because it was
Did
Asian.
your white friends go up to you and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry? Did you
I
get any of that? I'm so
I got-
sorry.
like 3 phone calls after the Atlanta shooting,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I don't know. I mean, it's sad. It is sad, but like,
Alana was the massage.
You didn't know them?
no, we're not all related. Mara. I'm sorry to hear about your cousins, Wilfred. I know a guy. I was just talking with a guy yesterday, a comic from Atlanta, who the first time he ever got jacked off at a massage parlor was at that one.
Oh my God.
So he was in tears.
Yeah,
He was like, oh.
yeah. His dick cried a little for him.
Have either of you ever gone to those places?
I have not,
I have not as well.
but I am. I'm not.
But I definitely, I could
I
feel them
would
out.
do it.
You would?
I think I'd do it.
They just look too seated to me. Everyone I went to has been with my wife or like a legit one.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that they look too scary. They just look like too dark. Like they just look like something awful is gonna happen.
I wonder if the one that I go to, because I was talking with these dudes. I was with like 4 comics, and all 4 of them have been jerked off at a massage parlor. Jerked off, at least jerked off. Like they've been sucked off, and some of them have even had sex with their massage person. And
I didn't know that was even on the menu.
I didn't know this either. But the way that they were describing these massage parlors it was like the one that I go to. Like it's not clean, it's like whatever.
That's what I imagine with
Yeah.
those.
And I go to this
every
one
time
because
I seen one, like it looks like they look the same. They got like these lights, and you can't really see inside.
Mhm.
And people say, "Yeah, that's the one." I'm like, "Yeah, that looks like
Yeah.
the one."
And I just go to this one because it's cheap.
It's like $25 for 7 hours,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because poor people, like every time I get a massage, I always overtip because
Yeah. In fact, they just want to jerk you off and get you out of there.
probably, oh, he really wants a real massage, make me
Yeah.
work.
Fuck, I got to be here for 60 minutes. Just jerk them off for 20.
I have an escort friend like she charges like $700 for an hour. She goes, as soon as they ejaculate, which is within the first 4 minutes of them being there, typically, she goes over, she sits down, she starts rubbing their shoulders a little bit. Then she gently gets them up and walks them to their things to like start leaving. And she's like, I make $700 in 12 minutes.
Wow.
Like,
God damn.
holy shit. I know. It's like, oh man,
That's
if I
great.
could just do that, you know?
And I bet 99% of the time it's safe, but it's just there's that element of danger because it's like the unknown,
Yeah.
right? Has your friend ever had a weird situation?
Yeah.
A lot?
I mean, I have weird situations. I dated this guy.
So you might as well be an escort with all these weird situations.
You might as well. Yeah. Like he did a bunch of blow, but he also did Viagra before we went out. And then it was like, he was like jackhammering me or whatever it's called. And I was like, dude, bro, what? This is not like, get off me.
Wait, so you guys were having sex and he was doing a jackhammer move?
He just wouldn't stop thrusting. He was like, pump, 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 for like forever. And I was like, this isn't fun. And B, what are you on? Like, he was like, you could see he was on something. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And he wouldn't let me out. And I was like, I only went out with him because he had a Chagall on his wall. And it was my favorite artist. And I was like,
what's a Chagall?
Don't be so... Marc Chagall. It's a painter.
Oh,
it's,
okay. You look so
I know
disappointed in me. It's like Marc Chagall, you fucking cultureless asshole.
I don't know who that is either. I know my buddy was telling me about his friend who fucked a guy with a micro penis because that guy owned a boat.
You got to get an asset.
I know. I've got
Wait, hey, she banged him?
She fucked a dude with a micro penis.
What's a micro penis?
You don't know what a micro penis is? It's like your finger, but a penis.
So it's like a strap on, but a very small penis.
No, it's like a guy who has a penis, but it's tiny.
So how does she bang him with it?
No, he banged her.
Oh, he had the micro penis.
He had a micro penis.
And the boat.
Oh,
and a boat.
Oh, I thought you said okay, I'm sorry. I just assumed that this guy did not have a micro penis and that she put like a device on to bang him.
No.
Like I thought he was into that.
No.
Because I never, yeah. I mean, I guess there are guys who have micro penises.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know what? When I'm not hard, my shit might be a micro penis. I have whack resting dick. Like my resting penis is pathetic.
It does not matter what your dick is when it's resting.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm like confident saying that. But my resting dick is like a thimble.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that piece we used to play with Monopoly?
Yeah.
What about yours, Wilfred?
Mine's a lot better than that. Let me tell you.
You have good resting dick.
It's not a thimble.
But it's a grower, so I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It's very surprising. But if my shorts get wet or if I'm at the gym with like compromising shorts, I'm definitely fixing it. I'm not gonna just leave it there. And make eye contact with strangers.
Well, I've got like some like athletic pants that look like real pants that I'll wear to shows.
Like Lulu?
Kind of, mine are Uniqlo.
You don't have Lulu.
I don't have Lulu money.
Lulu money.
I've got Uniqlo money.
Yeah, this is Lulu right here.
I can tell. He's been spilling. He left his bucket hat with a pile of money in it, and credit card debt.
I have no debt.
You have no debt?
No, man.
Really?
Yeah, I pay that shit off. I don't fuck around.
Good for you.
Yeah.
But I have like my balls and my dick. Like you can kind of see them through the pants.
Your balls too?
My balls
Swollen
too.
ass balls.
It's just I think it's how my underwear keeps because I've got
package in place.
I keep it. It keeps it in a weird place.
So you wear like briefs.
I wear boxer briefs.
You wear thong briefs.
But my boxer briefs have like a wing in them to keep my nuts from sticking to my leg.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you are completely understand that.
I do. I fold a lot of underwear.
Oh really?
I do. Yeah.
You're mad domesticated out in Texas. They fucked you up.
I know.
You don't have. Why don't you get help? You look like the type of woman that'll get help.
I have been searching, honestly.
Yeah, like,
I've been looking.
Can you get the help to do the laundry?
I've been asking around for referrals. So hopefully
you're gonna turn into one of those women who's like that. Where's the help? Pass your finger by the table. Look at your.
I would not
go like this.
I can't
to see if there's any dust. Where's the help?
I have an OCD problem that I have to be clean. Otherwise, life cannot go on. Like I can't do anything without everything spotless.
Yeah.
So I know. So, I mean, the help would just be there as a bonus. You know what I mean?
Big ass Texas home.
I know. It's huge.
Really?
Yeah. Like, you think about your apartment in New York and you're like, wow, 600 square feet. This is huge. And then you get here and you're like, oh, 2,000 square feet. How the fuck am I going to afford furniture for this?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. 600 square feet isn't that big. It doesn't feel that big.
I suck at
My
that.
apartment felt good.
If you were to ask me how big my apartment was, I never know the square footage. It's like
I measured
how
it.
many square footage is the studio? Just this room that we're in?
Maybe 200, 210?
I'd say like 350.
Oh, maybe, yeah. No, because my first apartment in LA was 270 square feet, and I shared it with another human.
No, I'm going to say
That was
this
the
might be
most fun
4
ever.
because I'd say this is slightly bigger than my apartment or slightly smaller than my apartment.
You have a studio?
Huh?
No, he has a
You have a
one
studio?
two-bedroom,
I have a
right?
2-bedroom.
You have a 2-bedroom?
Yeah.
Illegally converted.
I can have a smaller penis too with a 2-bedroom.
Women are going to be throwing themselves at you after this.
So you go up
podcast.
on stage with your fucking. It looks like you have a porcupine stuffed in your.
I have to I pull my underwear even higher so that when my
So you like to show dick print.
No, I don't. I want it to be smooth. I want to be Ken. Like
Yeah, like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
That's the way mine
But
looks.
so I pull my underwear up higher so that my dick print isn't out
Yeah.
there.
There was a guy who showed up to one of my boxing classes, and it's like his pants are way too fucking tight. There was like dick print all over the place. He was annoyed. His shirt was too small, and then he had like a stain on his shirt, and it could have been yogurt, but it could have been something else. Like, this guy's a fucking mess.
The way that I figured out that I have to cover up my tits on stage is because a comic went up, an LA comic went up, and he had jeans on, and I turned and looked at the stage, and it was halfway down his leg, and I was like, oh my. And then I was like, oh, that's
halfway down his leg?
huge. Ahmed, your dick is huge. And I couldn't hear one joke, and I was like, I should definitely cover my tits when I'm on stage because I have not heard a thing this penis has been saying. Whew, that thing was good. That's also when I knew I was a little older.
I wonder if because you know how like pretty white girls can get away with saying anything.
Or doing anything.
Or doing anything. Like but if they say anything, like a guy will just laugh at the appropriate times just because they want to fuck her. I wonder if that would help, if like that helps someone on stage. Like just being attractive lures people in.
I think being attractive, and I hate to sound like that one chick on The Devil Wears Prada, but no, who was it? Mishka? I forget who the actress was, but being attractive on stage hurts.
Really?
Yeah. The women, you got to really win over the women first.
I don't know. I never thought about that. If someone's funny, they're funny.
You never had to deal with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
maybe that's what it is. Like this, I'd never. Yeah, every woman a comic I enjoy. There's some of them are very good looking. Some of them are not. Like I never think about it like that. I never thought about. They're probably having a hard time because they're good looking.
I've started to realize we don't look at comedy the same way that everyone else does.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I've realized that writing doesn't matter as much as it does to us. Like we appreciate a good joke and we appreciate the craftsmanship of like a joke that's tough to sell to an audience, but you did it, you know? And an audience doesn't have that appreciation.
There's comedy nerds who do.
There's some,
yeah.
But I even think that like industry, which are supposed to be comedy nerds, industry is closer to audience than they are to comics because they've nenever had to write a joke.
They're also trying to only appease to the audience.
Also, for me,
they're like trying to be cool.
I just want a motherfucker to be funny. Like it doesn't have to be this, like, oh my God, that's a well-constructed joke. And I can appreciate that. When it's done, I'm like, oh, that was amazing. But I'm never like sorting that out. Like, oh, I need this joke to be in layers and then have, this come around and, and this huge element of surprise. Like, I just want someone to be funny. Like, I don't need, like, be funny. Because there's also an element where people, what I've heard before? I heard a fucking guy get off stage and he was like, Yeah, I really had to dumb it down tonight. That audience wasn't very cerebral.
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
Like who fucking just be funny, motherfucker. Like these people are drinking. Be funny. But if you're going in with that mentality, like, yeah, I couldn't do much of my cerebral stuff. Like you use a word like cerebral, you're a fucking asshole.
Well, that's a dude that doesn't perform outside of Brooklyn or something like that.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
he hasn't learned how to be funny outside of like his little pocket of Bushwick shows.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. But it's just like because I just think it's important that we can't take it too serious. I hear what you're saying, right? It's like I appreciate a good well constructed joke, but I also feel like that can fall into line with people saying, and not you. I'm just saying when people are like, when someone's just being silly or someone's just funny. And you could appreciate that too. It's just like,
yeah, for sure. And I'm saying that my mindset has been wrong because I'm less marketable than I think I think I write good jokes, but that doesn't mean that I'm marketable. Likability is much more important than writing.
You're very likable.
Yeah, I think you are.
I think you're being very hard on yourself. I think you are very marketable. Look at you.
You're on stage. You don't think that's a strong suit. Like you're likable. You don't think you?
I think I am, but I don't carry it like I can think of like I've got people in my mind that can't write jokes,
off the bat.
But they're so likable that their careers are going places and mine isn't, or maybe mine is. I don't know. It's hard to tell when about your own career.
I just don't know where careers are going these days with just stand up. I really don't. Like, where are careers going? Like, who's saying, yeah, your career is going somewhere? I think the game
wherever you decide that you want
I feel like
to
the
go.
game has changed, man.
100%.
At least by the guys who I know who are doing it. Like, all the guys who I know who are doing it have done it. Like, this industry, they have gotten shit from the industry. But a lot of what's making them get some heat is their own doing. Like, their own... And I say Giannis, I say Tim Dillon, I say, guys like Andrew Schultz, those are three very different comics too, but they all have one thing in common. They have turned it up on their own, and they got some industry shit. There's no doubt about it.
They work so fucking hard. I don't know anybody that works harder than Andrew Schultz. Like he started by barking and by the lantern.
Yeah, I remember
that.
Like
every night. And then he just hustled hard and he still works that hard. And I think that's the key, just to keep working.
I don't know if I have that in me.
No, even I like the way Tim Dillon says something on with Lex Friedman. Is that the podcast's name?
I don't know.
He's a podcast, I believe. And it was kind of like a serious podcast. But one thing that was like a jewel. He was like, when a young comic asked me, how do you make, he's like, I just had a high threshold for punishment. And, and I never thought, like where I was at prior with shitty jobs and I was selling bogus mortgages and or whatever, like bogus real estate, whatever. He said, I was so in a dark place that comedy seemed so much more easier. And I just had a high threshold for like humiliating myself and on top of that, he's funny. So it's like he was able to, he was thick-skinned with the rejection, never stopped moving forward, savvy. So a lot of things fell into place. But he also did shit. Like, I would never do this. He also worked like a double-stacked tour bus and just ranted to like unassuming customers. So they would drive and he would take, like, that's like guerrilla stand-up.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that it applies to his style on a podcast, which has a rapid, like, following.
Fire.
And I get that, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of look at what order and, like, what happened, but, never, was super, like, never stopped doing it at that level. And I think knew his strengths early on. You know what I'm saying? But Tim
was a child actor.
He was a child actor, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so he probably got rejected a shit ton when he was a kid. Right. So he got taught. Like, now we have all these crazy things.
I think that, like, I really don't know what industry, because I'm just out the loop. So do you guys know what industry is like, when we say industry these days? Do we mean like festivals and shit like that? Because I'm out the loop with that. I don't mean, like, I'm
still thinking the big networks. So like Comedy Central, Netflix. That's what, like, I'm talking with my manager and he's like trying to get me like on late night. And I'm like, what the fuck do you think? I'm not going to clean up these jokes. So we're not gonna do late night. Let's do Comedy Central. Let's do Netflix. Let's do something where I could be myself.
Yeah.
And it can give me a little bit of a boost, and it's just about getting that small boost so that you can take it from there.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, like Bill Burr's Netflix is the short clips ones, the 8-minute sets
Yeah,
that
something
he's
like
been
that.
doing. Yeah, something like that would be great. A great intro. And then you don't have to clean it up. Miss Pat has a show on BET Plus. I rented BET Plus on a 7-week free trial to watch Miss Pat's show, and she didn't clean up anything, like nothing. It is the N word. It's a lot of fucks. I was like, oh, whoa. And it really didn't catch a lot of, like, it didn't feature her well at the very beginning, but then the end of it closed off pretty great. I was really happy that Miss Pat got a show.
Now, is she hosting it, or it was like a special?
So she does the first minute intro is her doing stand up before whatever scene she's about to start. And then it's like a Good Times multicam sitcom.
Oh, so it's like Seinfeld.
Yeah, it is like Seinfeld. And exactly, there's like some lines from Good Times. It's very modern Good Times.
Yeah, I just want to get a little bit of exposure, but I want it to be me. What
do you want to do with your life, Wilfred?
I'm trying to figure that out. It's like it's been changing a lot, because before you have these like lofty goals, like, oh yeah, I want to write for TV, I want to have a TV show, whatever. And then now that I'm starting to really understand what writing for TV looks like and what having a TV show looks like, I'm like, I want to do stand up.
Yeah.
I'd rather tell jokes on stage than use all my creative energy on someone else's TV show.
Do you transcribe your sets?
Sometimes I do, but I feel like it never really helps.
I feel like it helps me get into the creative mind of editing my jokes. Like, and then it gets me, like, once I hear the set over and over, even though it's painful to listen to my own voice.
Yeah, it's the worst.
It is the worst. But I learned from it is so helpful, and it really speeds it. Mike Birbiglia, every single night he does like 3 shows for an hour. He video and does audio, and he transcribes after every single set, writes out every word. Crazy. And look at that guy. 5 specials, TV shows, movies. Like, he's done it.
Yeah.
You know what the difference is? He does the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, that detailed work. It's funny how you could be disciplined in other areas in your life, but with that, I do see the immediate benefits of writing out, listening, cutting out the fat, because I'll listen to a set, and even a podcast, and I'm guilty of saying too much, like too much. I do that shit on stage too. It's gotten better, but it all crutches. For a while, my punchline, like, I would end certain jokes with end shit. I would say end shit each and every fucking time. And it was pissing me off. I was like, that's a crutch I'm falling on.
Yeah.
Because I'm funny without that shit, but I continue. It was things I didn't really believe in too much, and I'll go end shit, to punctuate it. And that's sloppy. That's not clean. Like, I can eliminate that and use the real fucking words. Or
but if you
silence,
type it all
sometimes
out,
letting it,
if you write it, if you're forced to write it all out, it will help you cut it out faster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's also times to be sloppy, though. Like, there are times, like yesterday I had a set where I was like, let's be sloppy. Let's be a mess and figure out new jokes and figure out something, like, let's riff and see if there's anything exciting going on. And then there's also, you take those sets and then you figure out how to clean it up. And I instead of transcribing, what I do is I obsess over one joke at a time. Yesterday I just wrote a joke where I wrote like a white girl voice into it. It's like, I don't know about that. And I've been doing that voice this is the first time I've used my voice today. I've been talking in, are you sure? I've been doing that all last night, all morning.
Yeah,
because I'm just obsessed with this one joke.
They like to say this. Yeah, no, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, that's just mad confusing. Yeah, no, it's not okay.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by a lot of them, so I get all the jargon and like what you.
I see your Instagram stories.
It's all
you got getting white girls to punch.
Yeah, dogs. Yeah, so And they give you the vocal fry. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I don't have any that bad, but if I let them go, if I hung out with them after the session, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When we moved here, I started an electric account and Dave started an electric account. And so I called to cancel my electric account yesterday. And the girl that picked up goes, but what, like, why would you want to do that? Like, why would you want to cancel? And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to hang up on you.
Yeah, fuck, man.
Why would you want to cancel? I love that.
Why would you want to
Yeah, you almost think they're
cancel?
joking. Like, no, is that real? That's real?
Yeah.
Can I have a cigarette?
Like, I'll just have him
Oh my God, I'm
cancel
so
his
drunk.
account.
Yeah. Can I wear your hat?
Yeah. Can I wear your hat?
There were these two, I made it into a joke, but there were these two girls that, and I'm obsessed with her voice since then. She walked by and she's like, I don't know, I just want like a guy with a high shoulder walk. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And why do you say it like that? That is so
Yeah, she just
cute. What
wants
is a high
broad
shoulder walk?
shoulders, but she doesn't know.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you know
that was
what?
fucking weird.
I'm no fucking better. If I was her age, I'd be like, I just want to go with a fat ass. And that's not very becoming, right? Like, if someone says that, I'm sure someone's going to talk about it. Yeah, I heard this Puerto Rican guy talk about how he wants to go with a fat ass. So everyone got that shit.
Yeah. I want a girl with a big personality. Big set of personality.
Because I'm sure.
Big swinging personalities. That's what I want.
But when it comes down to it, that's what you really want.
Well,
That's the truth, though.
You have to go with your animalistic attractions.
Yeah, that shit
before
lasts
anything
5
else.
hours. It lasts 20 minutes.
Because sure, conversations are important too, but I need to want to fuck you.
Yeah, it's rough
Yeah.
if you don't want, if you have to, And most people, like, when it comes down to the nitty gritty, like, you could get easily turned off by it and not want to fuck. It's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes there needs to be that, because you can have someone who's very attractive, but they could turn you off with just. For me, it could be like they'll do something. I'm like, oh my God, you're so hot, but that's so whack.
Yeah, that Instagram story you just posted.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh my
So
God.
when it's just like so unoriginal something.
I think, and this is a very pessimistic way of looking at getting in a
Well, you're a
relationship.
pessimistic guy.
I am, yeah. But this is a pessimistic way. So I think of every single thing, like relationships are a bunch of, like, in the circus when they've got like a hula hoop and it's like, it's a ring and it's like on fire. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of those that you have to jump through. So the first one is just like, I see you, I'm attracted to you. All right, that's a ring that we got through. And then we have a conversation and you're not dumb and repulsive. That's a ring that we got through. And then we get to the bedroom and we have sex and it's good. That's another ring that we, and it's just, and then it's constant rings to keep a relationship alive.
We also gotta look at ourselves, right? How we're reacting to.
Oh, there's
situation.
nothing wrong with me.
Because for a long time, man, I was just when I was single, I was just very dismissive, and I thought it was all about me. I thought it was hot shit. Early 2000, I thought it was hot shit. Meanwhile, I was just hooked on drugs.
Yeah.
I was hooked on drugs and alcohol.
I had a girlfriend that was just like you. And
Like me
she
or like
was
Wilfred?
hooked on drugs. And
Because being that you're on
used to
Zoom, if you say like you, I can't really tell who you're talking to because you're miles and miles away because you decided to do a digital recording. Okay.
Listen,
It's not really clear on who you're talking to.
A Karen got on the plane and refused to wear a mask. And then her husband started yelling at the flight attendant. I was going to say stewardess. It's not 1950. And
When did that change? When did
I don't
stewardess
know.
become the R word?
I think the 80s.
Really? That long ago?
The 90s? I think
I like
the 90s.
stewardess
yeah.
went out with like you don't call Asian people Orientals no more.
Yeah.
Like it went out in that time.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You don't?
Yeah, he's Oriental. She's
Yeah.
Oriental.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my girlfriend she did so much blow and she bartended at the same time she got scoliosis. So that's hot. Super hot. She thought she was hot shit too. She was like, look at how skinny I am. I'm like, girl, you're a crackhead. Like you used to be hot. I need to do a quick ad read
Oh, hell yeah.
for our favorite game, Best Fiends.
Best Fiends.
It is so great. I know that I talk about them a lot and I love them. And 2 times this month they get talked about, but they don't get talked about enough. I'm telling you. It is a strategy game that it's a puzzle game. It's a casual mobile puzzle game that you can download. There's over 100 million downloads, so why not make it 101 million? That's not how math works, but you know what I mean. and it just fits right into your life. It's so great. And who says kids should have all the fun, right? Serge,
You know that's
Charlie
right.
shouldn't have all the fun.
Yeah.
You should have it. You're doing enough fun in your life. I'm watching your Instagram. So make sure to download Best Fiends. That's friends without the R from either your Google or your Apple apps. And yeah, again, that's Best Fiends, friends without the R. It's 5-star rated. It'll keep you
Yeah.
company. We're about to go into another lockdown, so
No,
we
don't
need
say
some
that.
stuff to do.
Don't say that. Here's why
Just you and Callie.
Yeah. Can I throw out some dates? Because I'm on the road.
Oh, nice. Where are you going?
We're not done yet. We're not
No,
done.
I want to do it now because no one's gonna listen to the whole episode. I'll do it now.
What a punk. Well, wait. Just make sure you already downloaded the game. So just make sure to get Best Fiends. That's friends without the R. Right now. Okay, Wilfred, finally someone booked you. Who did it?
I'm going to be in Chicago September 6th through 8th, Minneapolis September 17th and 18th, and Fort Collins September 30th.
Where's Fort Collins?
Right out. It's like an hour away
Colorado.
from Denver. And then I'm going to be in Denver the 1st through the 6th of October.
Where are you playing at in Denver?
All over the place.
Oh, just different spots?
Yeah.
So where can they find your specific dates?
Just find me on Instagram at Wilfred Padua. I'll be posting all those in due time.
Nice.
But I feel I don't know. I just need to get those out there. I haven't been plugging any of my fucking tour dates, and I feel like no one's gonna show up to these shows.
I'll be back in New York this weekend and have shows all over. So make sure to check out my Instagram also. So, and Sergio, oh my God, Sergio, did you eat one of those Philly steaks on a pizza, in a pizza?
No, Chris did because he's an animal. I have respect for myself.
I was like, fucking Sergio better not
What
be
is it, like a
eating that
calzone?
shit.
I have no idea. I think he just put a cheesesteak in a pizza and just rolled it up and ate that shit.
The contents of a cheesesteak or the
like a whole
bread
cheesecake.
Too?
Even the bread.
Yeah, even the bread and a big ass pizza and just rolled it. It's disgusting. He ate half of it too.
I need to see that sounds amazing to me, and I need to I have the wrong mentality in terms of food. Like my mentality is like, oh yeah, let's throw cheese on it, or like whatever. And I've been like shitting like crazy and not feeling good, and I know
I've been cheese.
Because of like everything that I throw in my body, the empanadas and whatever that I'm just like eating, and I'm trying to switch it up so that I'm back to eating healthier, and I'm gonna go to the gym after this.
Well, good luck on the road because that's where it's the toughest. I always start off really disciplined on the road. It's like you start that marathon, you start off strong, and then midway, I'm doubling up with cookies. I'm going to sleep at 2 a.m.
I've got a good road routine though. Like I go in.
You gotta have a routine.
So here's my road routine: is I fly in, I'll go to a health food store, and I'll get snacks from the health food store, so that way like I can bring that back to the hotel, and I'm not just like eating whatever garbage from the comedy club.
I do that same thing. I go all the way with produce.
Yeah, super smart.
You get peer pressured when you're out.
No, I'm actually listen. I'm actually a good influence on the guys I'm working with. Because they'll eat like shit. So I'm the one who, the thing is, I don't fuck around with the gym though. I go to the gym every day. We go to boxing gyms. I'll set all that shit up. Like every morning we're working out. I will dirtbag the food intake. Like I just eat a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go too crazy with what I eat, but I like to eat a lot because you just have a lot of time during the day. The thing is, the shows were so good in Philly that the staff was so happy that they bought us like cakes on top of cake. And I'm like, yo, if the shows are sold out, how about fucking cash money bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
Not fucking cakes. They were very accommodating. It was a lot of fun,
Punchline Philly is so fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Last time I was there, it was a lot of fun.
Never done Philly.
Yeah, Philly's dope.
Punchline Philly main stage, always so fun.
Yeah,
always.
Yeah, it was fun, man. We had a good time. The staff was dope. They come for comedy, right? So it's not like you go to Syracuse and people are tricked into a comedy club, going into a comedy club because it's in a fucking mall and they got free passes. These are people who purchase the tickets and they want to see it.
I'm so excited to be on the road because that happens. New York comedy is better because it's harder. And the reason why it's harder is because a comedy show isn't their night out. Like in New York, everyone is already out, so they're squeezing a comedy show between like getting drinks with a friend and then, picking up their laundry and then like doing like seeing a movie or something. Comedy's just a thing from 8 to 9:30. And where you go to like Philly or like Minneapolis or wherever it is that I'm going, like this is their night. Their entire night is like, oh, I got dressed up to go to this comedy club and, we're getting drinks there. We're spending a lot of money because, comedy clubs are really ripping you guys off. But
I did a spot on the but you're right. You're right. It's just this. When you go on the road, people are just a lot more appreciative because
they're
that's what
invested
they're doing.
in having a good time at your show.
Comedy clubs are getting better. I would say they need to stop with the fucking dropping the checks on the headliner. Like, do that shit after the show. Even a regular showcase club. I hosted at New York Comedy Club the other day, and they have a decent system where
I hate their system. I hate.
But wait, no,
hosting
this is what I'm saying.
Go ahead. Explain the system though.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad system. I was just unaware. They kind of screwed me over but not really screwed me over intentionally. They just didn't tell me. So it was a lineup of 4: Nick Griffin, John Last, and like 2 other comics. It was a independently produced show. So the guy who organized the show is about, I don't know, I forgot the fucking name of it. It was, some guy from Queens talking about he wants to bring awareness to climate change or something like that. But he was like this black dude with a bucket hat. He spoke and kind of rolled like me. It was interesting. He was like, yeah, so we can't fuck around with the climate change, you know what I mean? Because, we're going to fuck up our earth. And I was like, and he was like drinking Hennessy with no ice. So it was weird to like hear that. He's like, yes, I want you guys to get up, get down, no straws ever. You know what I mean? So we're going to we're going to treat this world with some respect, you know what I mean? And he was talking like that. And I was oh shit.
When is NPR going to get that guy to do a show? Because it's like NPR is so white. It's like such a white voice thing delivered to.
You kind of need that mix. So
yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like I wasn't expecting that. So I go up. He opens the show like that, right? And then I bring up I do my time, bring up the comments. But then they end the show with him. Like that was what was on the to-do list for the night. I was given like an itinerary of what the fuck I was doing, my job. I bring him up. He starts talking about death in the hood. Yeah, these motherfuckers get shot up. I want everyone to put down the guns. Meanwhile, like the audience is all like young white people who are definitely not ripping and running the streets.
Yeah.
But I get what he was doing. There was a few, people, everyone needs to listen to it, but it was interesting, like, the crimes are up and we need to invest in our communities. Then the fucking manager of the club comes up to me. I was like, okay, welcome to, sorry, that's the show. He goes up to me on stage, oh, we got 3 more comics for the check spot.
Yeah.
So after the actual show, they then have comics go up and eat the checks.
Yeah.
Which is weird because usually that's done before the last comic. Whatever the case, I think it's fine, whatever. I didn't have to stay up there and bring them up. They brought up themselves.
Yeah.
But I thought that was odd. I just think they should put on some fucking music and pay your checks. Like, what comic wants to do that shit? I never, like, mind. Like,
but it's your way into New York.
I hate that way. I get it. I just never did that shit. I never barked either.
I never barked either.
Yeah, I never like hung around for checks. And I'm not knocking it. I just never did that. No, that's not worth it to me. I never, wanted that battle.
I'll do checks.
Yeah, I always said
I'll
no
work
to
on stage, but I don't want to do the work off.
I'll do checks if I'm hosting. Like, that's my fucking job. I'll do that. And I'll do them right. Like, I'll stay. I know guys who are hosting, they'll fuck around and be like, oh, I didn't know the checks weren't finished. You fucking lie. You just ran out of material. You got scared because no one was listening.
At Eastville, I do the raffle.
Yeah, it's a lot. That shit's hard.
It's not an easy time. You're up there for
but
like
when people are
6
bullshit,
minutes,
when a host doesn't want to be there anymore. And like, oh, I thought the checks are fair. No, you knew.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I saw the light. No, you didn't.
That's how I got into a regular paid spot by doing checks at Stand Up New York and New York Comedy Club. And I would always do the nights where James Mattern would host, and he would eat the checks and basically give me a regular spot.
Oh,
it was so nice.
James Mattern is a beast that way. He always sets people up. He's so generous.
You were there for Dan's thing. Our buddy Dan passed away.
He was security at Eastville Comedy Club.
He was a security dude at Eastville Comedy Club. Had a heart attack. Great guy. But they had a little like, what would you call it? Like like kind of a service,
like a memorial,
at Eastville. And James hosted it, and he hosted the shit out of it.
Yeah, he hosted. You know, it's like a dozen of us, and he hosted that shit like it's supposed to be, like with passion and.
Yeah, it was like empathetic and beautiful, but also funny, and like no one felt awkward because he's James Madden, one of the best hosts in the game.
Seriously, he is. I do get annoyed at some of his posts about comedy because I was like, fuck that's old fuck. I was like, but I think he's doing that to incite some sort of reaction.
Yeah.
And it's working. Because I get annoyed.
What do you get annoyed at? What would you get annoyed at?
Like certain rules. I mean, this wasn't one of them, but like shorts. You can't wear shorts on stage. You can wear fucking shorts. You can wear whatever the fuck you want. I wear
shorts now.
Yeah. I'm not going to wear shorts because my legs are so pale, but anybody can wear shorts.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care.
I think there's a lot of rules that I used to abide by. As like when before I moved to New York and I was just like a dude who was working the road and middling for other guys, I used to abide by a lot of rules. But now that I'm in New York and I've seen how good comics handle every single situation, there's no rules that I try to follow anymore. Because like before, if I was middling, I'd be like, oh, I'm not gonna do any crowd work just in case the headliner wants to do it or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm like, I'm gonna have the best set that I can. And then the headliner is going to do the same thing after. Like, they're going to crush it as well because they're the headliner. They're great.
Also, I kind of think that those headliner rules are a little weak. Like, I'm sorry, if you can't, like, handle my little 20 minutes in front of you.
I would say someone who goes super dirty could change the tone of the room. I think that's a rule that, you know, like you go super dirty before the headliner and like condition the audience for that. You know, I've seen people, you know, it's like, oh, you go super dirty and it's like, you know, it becomes a bit much. I don't know if that's always a good thing for a headliner.
Yeah, I had a G rated comedian that I was opening up for a lot. And then he said some really misogynistic things to the owner, right? And I could hear him. And I did my throw up cum joke right before he went on. And I said fuck twice. And he goes, what the hell was that? And I go, fuck you.
He was a dirtbag.
Have a good set, dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that I'm not worried about burying a headliner or anything. I'm like, you're good at I have faith in you as a headliner. You're good at this. You'll figure it out. Like, we all have to readjust. I don't know. I don't care.
Yeah. I think that's a good attitude to have, both as like a headliner of someone who's featuring. Like, just do your thing.
Do your thing.
Do your thing.
You're good at this. You're being paid to do this because you're good. Do your thing.
But I do think going too dirty it makes the job a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes the job a lot harder.
On a showcase show too, if your first comic on your lineup is dirty, everybody else kind of gets dirty just because they're like, oh, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I've done that shit before and I failed. Like, you know, when someone's like mad dirty and ripping, I'm like, oh, that's the tone. You know what? Because that's not really me.
Yeah.
So I faked the funk and I was like, yeah, I'm going to ride this way, but I'm not really like a dirty guy. And they fucking smelled that shit and it came across as just vulgar.
I think if you came out and you're like, I don't have any dirty jokes because I'm a come on contact kind of guy. Like, what? I think if you came out and said that, they would just let you do your regular shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got very inside baseball in this episode, and thank you guys for being in the studio.
Can't believe you didn't just tell us to open our computers. I can't believe this.
No, I'm actually happy I came out.
No, this is fun. Are you recording here after?
No, I was supposed to. My guest canceled.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but can I say something about DBS podcast?
Yes.
4 times. You're up 400% of
I don't know how
downloads.
or why, but I'm very appreciative. So
really?
What are you talking? You're funny.
That's great.
You're getting on a lot of podcasts. We have a great supportive audience here on Happy Never After. So
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just a collection of different things. That's awesome.
If anyone is listening to this podcast and follows me on because I have no proof. I don't know what my numbers are looking like, and if this has helped me in any way, or if this is just cost me $2.75 every day to do. But if anyone follows me because of this podcast, let me know, because I'd love to know that this is actually helping me.
Yeah, I think I don't know why. Probably because I dog social media. I think so. They're like, which I don't think social media is bad. I think it has a place. You just can't, if you can't control it, like then don't separate yourself. But tag Wilfred, tag Sergio in their podcast, reshare their podcast, reshare this podcast. Yeah. Follow, let us know what's going on with your life. Okay. Thank you guys for coming in. Sergio, where can they find you?
At the DBS podcast. At Sergio Chacon. Thank you.
Okay. Wilfred Padua.
At Wilfred Padua on everything. Oh, and Robbie podcast. I keep forgetting that I have another podcast.
We should have your co-hosts on H&A.
Sean and TJ, both of them?
Yeah.
That's gonna be too much.
Separately.
Yeah, I guess one of them at a time, but like our vibe here is already too much. Like you're gonna add Sean, who doesn't stop talking.
True.
You're gonna add TJ with his with all of those weird Haitian opinions. Come on. We're good. We're doing fine.
All right. Make sure to follow H&A Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and follow me directly at Mara Merrick. And make sure to check out Be Frank Network, where you can find DBS podcasts and all of our other shows. Thank you guys. Talk to you next week.
Peace.
Okay. Love you. Peace.